all the women in the world that Diddy could have gotten with, he chose 50 Cent's baby mother.
It's a lot of variables to this particular question. Because I talk to a lot of people, older, younger, even my daughter, who's 22, she didn't understand it. So people give their opinion based on what they've experienced and their environment, people they've been around. So to the people that understand boundaries and respect, I always tell men you should never date another man's girl if you're not aware of it. If you know it, then it's
50 Cent is back, and this time, he's revealing a story that didn't make it into his Netflix documentary about Diddy. You might think a 4-episode series would cover everything, but apparently, there's footage and claims that were left on the cutting room floor. Claims that could shake the industry if they ever surfaced. One of those claims, according to 50, involves Diddy allegedly having a child with a woman who once dated Tupac Shakur. That's right, a connection no one expected, and it didn't make the documentary because, according to 50, there was simply too much material. But here's the part people miss. He might not wait for a second season. He's hinted that the extra footage could drop on YouTube. And if that happens, the story could explode in ways no one is ready for.
He went after the baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Just slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Having a whole basketball team run a train on her.
Totally
and
did. I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll be sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter.
Kim Porter.
Right.
That's his reputation.
I'll be sure his baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serum, his friend, the one that had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend. He got a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, well, if you don't understand this, then you're just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, "Oh yeah, I used to date Vlad," I can't with you, baby.
Right.
I won't even put my, excuse my language, because that's how I move. Other people don't move like that, but you see me in Paris, you see me all over the world. Why would I want to do that to mess up a relationship?
Since the documentary aired, 50 has reportedly been flooded with tips and new information. Fans are asking, why is he going after Diddy like this? And according to TK Kirkland, the real reason is far more complicated than simple rivalry. Some people think it's petty. Some say it's for clout. But TK insists there's a deeper pattern here, one that goes back to Diddy allegedly choosing to get involved with 50's baby mother, despite having countless other options.
In an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary. And they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And how it would go. They did the same thing. This ain't the first time they stole from me, man. If you look at the Notorious Big, if you watch the Notorious Big, that part about the shoes, I had that in my book. And I was talking to K.O. Copeland. He was one of the writers of that movie. And I told him about when I let Big use my shoes at Soul Train Award. You had this old flunky ass dude, Mike B, get on Angie Martinez's show and talk about, yo, Big, he wore mixed max shoes and he went out there and performed. When you go look at the film, when you go look at Big performing that on that show, ain't nothing mixed match about them shoes. There was $800 Maury's, size 14D, Big World 14E. E means that his shoes is a little wider than mine. He struggled, but he put the motherfuckers on and he went out there and performed. Those was my Gators that he had on. You understand? They did a little skit trying to disrespect me in the movie. You understand? And they said something about, oh, we got this from Big Sec.
TK breaks it down. In his view, Diddy's decision to pursue a rival's partner isn't just a coincidence. It's a show of disrespect, especially given their history. TK explains that dating another man's woman knowingly is a violation of unspoken boundaries, a lesson he's lived by his entire life. Diddy, with fame and access to anyone in the world, reportedly chose this path deliberately, and that's where it gets messy. According to TK, it wasn't just a one-time thing. Diddy allegedly had a child with Tupac's ex, and there are claims that there's a pattern of going after women connected to rivals.
And if 50 do another one, and I heard he's going to put it on YouTube or do whatever he's going to do, Puff ain't going to have nothing to do with that. Puff ain't going to have nothing to do to try to stop that because he can't. Because if he could stop it, it would have been stopped. You know why he can't stop it? Because Puff know people right there at Netflix. Don't think he don't. And I don't know if this guy still work for them, but he was part of the flavor unit, Shakim. He was part of the flavor unit. He was good friends. He was cool with Puff and them. Flavor unit and them, Queen Latifah and them, they was cool with Puff. If Puff would have sent a cease and desist over there and they could do it and he had the power and they wasn't right, they would have been done it. You see it's still rolling, right? It's still going on, right? He ain't got that power no more. You understand? Now, could he sue them because they use his likeness or use something and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not that versed in they using him. You understand? If they can steal your whole damn idea, your whole damn ideal, why can't they steal your whole damn intellectual property? That's what they...
But the story doesn't stop with personal drama. Gene Deal has publicly criticized the documentary, claiming that parts of it weren't original and that his ideas were allegedly used without credit. He says producers downsized content, leaving out key footage, including material about Sarah Chapman, who reportedly had connections to Diddy and Tupac. Deal suggests that if 50 releases the additional footage, there's little Diddy could do to stop it, signaling a shift in influence behind the scenes.
Did see the interview that 50 did with Sherry, and he was talking about he didn't release the video about Puff having a kid by Kim Porter's friend, Sarah Chapman. Now, we all know that she used to date Tupac. You understand? So either he got her because he wanted some remnants of Tupac. We don't know. But it seemed like every dude that he had some kind of disdain, dislike, or that he idolized in a sense, he wanted their girl. Or he wanted to be a part of their girl. I don't know why. Yo, bro, this dude was, I don't know if he was in love or in hate for Tupac. He wanted to be an actor. He auditioned I think he auditioned for Juice. But Pac beat him out for that Bishop thing. You understand what I'm saying? He wanted to be a part of that. Just go, and not so many years ago, when Puff started getting into that drugs and started using drug stuff, he started revamping some of Tupac's speeches. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the Grammy speech he did. Go look at a couple of speeches he did. It was the same exact words Tupac had said. That he was going to start this whole revolutionary of our people. That's Tupac. Black Lives Matter, the Black Liberation Movement, that was Pac. The Black Liberation Movement. Black Lives Matter, come on, bro. This dude, everybody know that he had some kind of, I don't want to say disdain taste, but he had some kind of, I don't, jealousy of Tupac, bro. He had this jealousy of
The deeper you dig, the darker it gets. Sources allege that Diddy had a strange fixation with Tupac's legacy, reportedly influencing many of his life choices. Gene Deal claims 50 discussed Diddy wanting connections with women tied to men he admired or disliked, including Tupac. Some say this drove decisions that seemed personal but were deeply symbolic, blending admiration, jealousy, and ego. And while the documentary touched on his life, it barely covered Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime partner and mother of his children. Many sources allege she witnessed and experienced things behind closed doors that were never publicly explored.
Do you think that Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Muir talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cane at the Kit Kat Club.
Kim Porter's story is one of the most censored threads in this entire saga. Allegedly, she had written a book exposing the struggles and dangerous situations she faced, including reportedly abusive encounters and a highly unconventional relationship with Diddy. People close to her say she saw Diddy monitoring private conversations, and when he didn't like what he heard, he allegedly reacted violently. One account involves Diddy attacking producer Shakir Stewart with chair over a private phone conversation with Kim. And that's only one of the many allegations surrounding his behavior behind scenes.
It was alleged that she did have a book and that her book was about to come out. And she was talking about all the perils, everything that she went through in the music business and with Diddy. All the men that they slept with together, because there were men that they slept with together. There were swinging times that they slept with together. I don't know, man. How do you put your girl through some shit like that? Or how do you look at your girl and knowing that she's in another dude? What kind of demonic mind you have to be that far gone where that shit don't bother you? And got rid of them. They swimming with the fishes.
Wow, man. So she was about to expose all that in her book, them sleeping with men together.
She was going to expose everything. I heard it was tell all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just curious, right? Did you know that Diddy and Kim had that type of relationship back then in real time?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Because I know somebody personally that lives in Atlanta that was swinging with them. And I would never mention his name because he's a good brother and he knows my family down there. You know, he knows my family down there. And I would never, put his name out there like that. He's been in the music business. He didn't put a lot of groups, A-listed groups out there. Especially A-listed groups from Atlanta.
Diddy's parties, which for decades were legendary for drawing celebrities, athletes, and powerful figures, were almost entirely absent in the documentary. Many who attended or knew about these events say this omission is suspicious. Why leave out such a core part of his influence and access? Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright and other insiders suggest that the environment Diddy grew up in shaped much of who he became. According to them, His household was chaotic, with strangers, swinging situations, and exposure to adult behaviors far beyond what most children see. This, they argue, contributed to patterns of control, manipulation, and extreme loyalty in his adult life.
It was the other day they just did a whole thing with the girl that he was dating was the one that was putting the wiretaps and all of that out. It was a clear case. She came, hey, I was the one who was doing the wiretaping and all of this, right? The tapping. So I knew about this before she came out and said that she was the one that was doing it. I was sitting there like, damn, he know everything she doing. He know her conversation. I'm sitting there like when I'm sitting there right there next to him, when I'm hearing them saying, this is what Shakira Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. That made him so mad at Shakira Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair. You don't think if he hit a man with a chair for dating this girl, you know, they're going to have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So then it happened in what was it, Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They had a she said they tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. Nah, the truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist. Yeah, but that's what happens when you put your hands on females. I don't really have much respect for a man who's physically abusive towards women, man. I kind of think they be kind of suspect. I'd be like, man, you know, girls fight girls.
Even Diddy's relationship with his own children reportedly raised questions. Allegedly, situations that his kids were exposed to would seem inappropriate by most standards. Observers say the documentary didn't explore this, leaving viewers to wonder what influence such an upbringing had on him. Combined with his documented past, his mother's complicated household, his admiration for hustlers, and the alleged jealousy toward Tupac, the narrative painted in the documentary might only be the tip of the iceberg.
Your thoughts on all his celebrity friends that denounced those allegations and were like, this is false, and you know,
Liars.
they were saying, yeah, should they speak up now?
It's getting a little too late for those who are complicit. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.